how to unstuck yourself and start moving in the right direction. This is what we're going to talk about in this Instagram live. And I have a guest, special guest, Andrea. I'm gonna let Andrea in right now. She's gonna tell us more about her. 1 second. Now, in a little bit, just bear with me. Is this working?
Oh,
Yes.
I'm
Hi,
great.
Andrea.
How are you?
Very good. Very good. You are calling
Yes,
from
I'm in San
America, right?
Francisco, so it's early morning here.
Oh, oh my God. And
Yeah,
I know that you just moved there,
just
right?
6, 7 weeks ago now, so a big life change, but I'm loving it.
And it's so funny because I just moved to Athens and you just moved to San Francisco. So we both in like this changing phase and adapting and new things going on. So it's so funny how we're both in the same kind of
Yeah, and
phase in
Athens is
life.
next on my list. I said to my boyfriend, if we move back to Europe, can we just move to Athens because it's such a beautiful city?
Yeah, yeah, come here, guys. That will be so much fun. So please, Andrea, first of all, thank you so much for joining me on this live about how to unstuck yourself and start moving in the right direction. Can you please tell us more about you
So I
and what
am
you do?
a business and mindset coach. I help female entrepreneurs to create the business and lives of their dreams. It started out as something I was very passionate about creating for myself. I became obsessed with mindset, personal development, success, the idea that you can have and be anything that you want, regardless of your past, regardless of your circumstances. And so I created that for myself in my own life. And for a number of years, I wanted to get into coaching, but I guess I stayed stuck for maybe 3 or 4 years. I didn't take action on it. I didn't know how. I didn't know what to do. I let fear hold me back, all of those things. And then 2 years ago now, I decided, okay, now is the time. I'm going all in, getting going with the coaching. And it has just been the most rewarding, amazing journey that it possibly could have been. I've been blessed with the most amazing clients and I absolutely love what I get to do.
Amazing. So yeah, it's great that you can definitely speak from experience. And I also experienced a phase recently where I felt a bit stagnant, a bit stuck, low energy, low motivation. So, and this is why I wanted to do this live so I can help people and we can both help people and by sharing how we came out of this phase and what we did to start moving in the right direction and
Can you
start
share
getting
a
momentum
little bit
again.
about yourself and for maybe people that don't know you?
Yes. So I'm Angelika. I'm a mindset and manifestation coach. I I grew up with a lot of hardships. From growing up with a dysfunctional family to being a broke student to losing my dad at 22 years old. But somehow, I always had this mindset that no, this is not my life. Like, I'm going to create a great life for myself. So I studied economics and finance. I used to work in the financial industry in London. I kind of hustled my way up and I had a great job in finance. I also bought a flat in London, everything great, but still I had this inner unhappiness or low self-love, low self-confidence. I was unhappy. It was not my dream life. I always struggled with relationships. I knew I had to heal. I knew I had to change something. So during the lockdown, all of a sudden I had free time for myself, and this is why I started to going on this journey of healing and going deep and looking at everything in my life, my limiting beliefs, everything, and investing in myself, in programs, etc. And then things really started to change for me. I started to heal. and raise my vibrations. I started to do the changes in my life. I quit my corporate job. I started as a coach. Now recently moved to Athens. So yeah, it's been a year now that I quit my corporate job, and a bit more than a year that I'm doing coaching. So yeah, you know, still in this journey of change and manifesting my dream life. So yeah, it's going well so
That's
far. Thanks for
amazing. So we
asking.
have very similar stories actually in how it got us to where we are now. And I think something that you said earlier as well about being unstuck is that sometimes people think that once you do all this inner work, all this mindset work, once you change your life, everything's perfect, everything's flowers and rainbows, and you have all the tools, and so you don't get stuck again, you don't fall into those negative patterns and negative behaviors. You're just, everything's amazing. And it's the opposite. You almost feel them deeper because you're so much more connected to yourself. And so maybe the small things don't get you as much, but different things like those big life changes or different life circumstances that come up can change so much, and then all of a sudden you're in that again and you have to navigate your way out of that. So I always say it's a journey, and that's what's so beautiful about it, is that if it was rosy and amazing all the time, it would be so boring and we wouldn't get any growth out of it. So it's a journey and it's beautiful, and there's highs and lows, and that's what life is about. We just have to go through that.
Yes, and you're right that actually when you have your own business, you get stuck more often than when you work in the corporate. Because somehow when you work in a corporate job, you have this structure, you have this habit that you need to do every day, go to work, do this, do that, and you kind of stay, you know, stay active. But when you have your own business and you're stuck, no one is going to get you out of it. Like you have no routine. You create your own routines. You create you know, your business, you create everything on your
Mm.
own. So it's, you're right, you get stuck actually more than before,
Absolutely. Yeah.
maybe.
I'm laughing because I'm like, it's so true. It happens so much more. But that's where you grow, so it's a good opportunity.
Yes, and during this live we're going to go over 4 points of how to get yourself unstuck if you're experiencing also this feeling. And the first point I want to talk about is maybe there is something called a winter season. Okay, yeah, there are seasons, but you know how everything in this universe is cyclical, right? So, and there are seasons, you know, we have a cycle during the day, we have a cycle during the month, we have a cycle during the year. So everything is cyclical and we go through seasons. And there is the winter season, and maybe, you know, if you feel stuck, you feel low energy, and definitely it was the case for me during winter. I always feel more low energy, not really inspired because I'm cold, I'm in my winter season, I want to isolate at home, I'm in hermit mode. Everything is low, like I don't want to go out, I don't want to do anything, I'm not inspired. So I definitely felt that I was also in the winter season because it was winter, right? I was in Paris, between Paris and London. And you know what? It's actually okay. And we should actually honor the winter season because the winter season is needed in nature for spring and summer and everything to blossom. They need, it needs the winter season. So we should not try to force things and completely eradicate the winter season because this period is needed. And the good thing is to look at what is this season going to bring to me. Is it that you need rest? Maybe you need you know, to relax. Maybe you need to just learn. Is the time for you to learn and read more and just work on your knowledge. Maybe it's the time for you to reflect on what happened last year. So it's definitely a time that is needed, and we should just try to make the most of it and see, like, what does it mean for you to be in winter,
Yeah,
right? So and I can definitely see that now that I came to Athens and that most of the days are sunny, I can see the shift in my energy and how more inspired and more motivated. But you know, I do not regret or I don't feel bad about the last 2-3 months that I was in my winter season, and I was doing a bit less inspired, because it did bring things to me as well. I did reflect on last year and start thinking about my strategy for this year. And I did a lot of courses and read books and podcasts. And so I was still working on myself, but maybe not producing or creating as much. And it's okay. It's totally okay. We should, accept
Yeah,
our winter season, basically.
absolutely. And I think that's the thing, is that you can have, like the environment, the weather has seasons, we have seasons as well. And so they can come up at any time. So we might be in summer, in like it might be sunny and warm, but you might be in winter. And so exactly what you said there, it's the time to go inward, it's the time to reflect, it's the time to take care of yourself, to work on yourself, to it's not the time to, like, let's say like a winter season, your life is just going crazy and everything's chaotic, and then you start fighting that because you're like, but I have these goals and I have to achieve these things and I want them now, and you're going against that and against that and against that, and there's constant resistance. It's going to be so much harder, and you're not honoring what you need in that moment. Maybe that's the time for you to reflect, to go inward, to figure out what's going on in your life and how you can adapt to that, how you can experience that, how you can learn from that, and then grow from that as well. So there's always going to be seasons, and that's the thing. It's like sometimes we have to just practice letting go, and that's like the greatest form of discipline, is actually letting go. And that's, I think, the hardest thing to do, because if you're an achiever, which I'm sure most of you are if you're here, you want to get things done, you want to make things happen, you want to achieve things, and then life throws something at you and you're in your season of winter and you're like, but I want to do all these things, how do I let it go? And I think sometimes life or the universe puts that in our path to teach us how to let go and how to just be and go with the flow.
So true, so true. Totally resonate with this. Thank you. So that was our point number one. Point number two will be to start moving. So it can be a physical act, like you can start small, you can be like go on a walk. So, just start moving to like do something. So can be on the walk, it can be hang out also in environments that relate to your goals. So for example, if you want to get back at your fitness habits, for example, you can start to hang out in the gym, even if you don't do much, even if you just walk on a treadmill. Or if it's, you want to start get moving with your business, you can maybe hang out with friends that have a business and start having conversations. If it's, I don't know, related to you want to book a holiday, maybe just start to look online and just start a small action, like a small move that relates to your goals, that relates to what you want to create, or where you're at, or where you want to achieve this year.
The fastest way to change your state, when you're stuck, you're in a low state, you're in a negative state, you're not like, oh my God, everything's amazing and I'm feeling amazing. Otherwise you wouldn't be stuck. And so the fastest way to change your state is to change your physiology. So exactly like you said, get up, go for a walk, put on some music, dance, drink some water, eat some food, like do something for your body, have a bath, and then do the strategy thing. I would always say first, change your physiology. That's going to make you feel that little bit better. You might still feel stuck. And in my experience, when people feel stuck, it's that they don't really know what to do next. And so once you move your body, your creativity is going to flow more. And like you said, take one little small action, because once you do that, you're going to think of more actions. And honestly, like the thing is, you're not always going to feel motivated. In my business, in my coaching, I'm very like, okay, how are we going to take action on this? Because there's going to be times where you're going to feel awful and you're going to have to move anyway. You're going to have to take action anyway. Because if you keep waiting for the day when you no longer feel stuck, when you feel great, when you feel motivated, you're going to like take action like, 50% of the time, maybe, depending on your life, depending on your emotional intelligence, on your mindset and everything. Some people have very small amount of bad days, some people have a lot. And so you have to be able to discipline yourself and say, I'm going to do something, even though I feel like crap. I'm going to go and do something that's going to move me forward, in the direction of my goals. And then on the flip side of that, I would also say is that you have to do something fun, like do something different as well. Like maybe you're having a really tough day in business. Take the day off and go bowling, go to the cinema, go for a swim, go to the gym, like go and do something fun that you're going to enjoy, that's going to light you up again, because you're useless to your business if you're doing everything from a bad state, from a low state, from an unmotivated state. And so if you can go and change that and you can just do something that's fun. I have a coach myself and she holds me accountable to this all the time because I'm so hard on myself. I'm like, no, we have to get up early, we have to work every day, you know, and there'll be a day where I'm like, maybe I'm sick, like this week I had a migraine, or life things will be going on. And she will say to me, Andrea, you have to go and do something fun. And she's gotten to a point that she will be like, send me pictures because she knows that I might not do it. And so she's holding me accountable to that in that moment as well. So change your physiology, do something fun, and take small action that's going to move you towards your goals.
Love it. And I like that yeah, indeed, you don't need to have this big breakthrough and start this huge project. You know, you can start small. And for me, when I came to Athens, this is the first thing I started to do, is just to go on walks and started to see friends, as you say, like for the fun part, and started to explore the city. So definitely you can start small and just do a small action. Love it. So the third point will be to maybe look at investing in yourself or have an accountability buddy. And I like that in one of your videos, you said that accountability doesn't need to be something you pay. You can have a friend that also is also working on goals, and you can be like, hey, let's help each other to reach our goals, right? So what could be the next thing for you that you can invest in with it, whether it's you invest your time or your money, but start to think about what's the next investment for you.
Warren Buffett said that he's one of the greatest investors of our time. And he said that the greatest investment that you can ever make is in yourself. Because if you grow, like you're stuck with yourself for the rest of your life. So if you grow, that's going to pay you tenfold for the rest of your life. So for me, when I started investing in this world, personal development, coaches, mentors, I started investing in myself first in terms of mindset, in terms of personal development, in terms of courses, events. Like there are so many different ways that you can invest. There's knowledge. You can buy books, you can listen to audio trainings, you can listen to trainings, you can do courses, you can do live programs, and then of course you can do coaching as well. And so I started consuming knowledge first, and for a long time I didn't have a coach. And I made progress. I implemented what I learned in a book. I implemented what I learned in a course, and I went and did that. But for me, what really made the difference in terms of how fast and how far I moved was investing in a coach. And I don't say that, I don't think that like every single person who wants to make a change in their life or wants to achieve a goal has to have a coach. No, I don't believe that. I don't buy into that kind of marketing. But for me, when I invested in a coach, that held me accountable to my goals, to my best self, to everything that I said I wanted to be and have. That helped me move forward a lot faster and a lot further than when I had tried to do it on my own. Like I collapsed like a decade into a year or two. And the growth that I experienced from doing the broad range of these things, not just having a one-to-one coach, but also having another mentor and attending personal development events and attending business events and doing courses. By having the whole spectrum, I grew beyond belief in a year, 2 years. And so that's what really, really made a difference for me. I think accountability buddies do work. And I have seen a lot of people who have accountability buddies and it works for them. For me, it's always been a little bit hit and miss. So I'm naturally very rebellious and independent. And so whenever I had an accountability buddy and I would be like, oh, I better, do the thing before I show up for our accountability call, I'd be like, oh, like, why should I let this person tell me what to do? Why should I do it for this person? And I think the distinction is that you're doing it for yourself. And for me, that's the same with the coaching as well, is that the coaching, I hold myself to a much higher standard, because first of all, you've invested in it. If you've put something on the line, whether it's your money or it's your time, you're going to be more likely to follow through than if you put nothing on the line. That's why, like, how many people have signed up to like free master classes, and you see the ad and you're like, oh, this sounds amazing, I'm going to sign up to this free master class, and you get the email in your inbox and you never go and watch the training, and you're like, I'll do it next week, I'll do it tomorrow, and you never actually get there. Whereas if you've gotten uncomfortable, and this is the thing, is like investing in yourself is uncomfortable, because for most people it's something you've never done before. If you get uncomfortable and you've either invested your time or your money into something, you are so much more likely to follow through. And so that made a huge difference for me, and just having that accountability. And always, I think, just remember being accountable to yourself, being accountable to your goals, being accountable to the person that you want to be, and pushing yourself as well. And I think that's the thing about a coaching relationship as well, is that there's different styles of coaching, and there can be like someone who tells you, go and do this, and then you do it. And then they say, okay, go and do this, and then you do it. But you never quite learn, you know, why are you doing that, or how to actually put yourself in state to be able to do that. And so you need to be able to lead yourself first. Having a coach can help you to do that, absolutely. But I think any form of accountability comes down to leading yourself first. That's very difficult at the beginning. And so if you find that you're not doing that, then maybe it's time to invest in a coach. Like, if you look back on the last 3 or 6 months and you're like, I haven't really moved, like I'm kind of in the same place as I was 6 months ago, then you're wasting your time, and it's probably time to do something different. Maybe it's not investing in a coach, maybe it's joining a program, maybe it's implementing a new habit, but it's time to do something different if you can see that it's already not working. And I think in terms of being stuck, the biggest problem I see with people is people will come to me and say, you know, like haven't made sales in 6 months, or I'm just sitting with it. I'm just trying to figure out what my business is, and so I've just been sitting with it. And I'm like, how long are you going to sit with it? Are you going to sit with it for a year? Are you going to just wait for the sales to magically come for a year? Like, when are you going to get to a point where you're actually going to do something about that? And I think that little distinction as well is what coaching can help a lot, because while it might take you 6 months of experience and figuring it out yourself to actually figure out what you need to get to the next level, you can do that in 1 hour, in a 1 hour session with a coach, and then you can take action immediately. And then the growth that comes from that in 6 months is just beyond belief. It's incredible.
Yeah, I totally agree. And this is why also made me transform, is because I heavily invested in myself and in a lot of programs. And if I tell people how much money I spend in courses and programs, people are going to say I'm crazy. But in 6 months, I transformed more than in the last 10 years. This is in the lockdown, when I started to go into this rabbit hole of like healing and investing in myself. So it definitely works. You get the faster way to get there, because you learn from someone who has done it. And the same way, everything I've tried and I've experienced for myself, and everything that helped me transform, I now teach it and use it in my coaching program with my clients. So it's definitely, for me, the faster way. And I also have an accountability buddy. So we have a call every week or two weeks, and she's also a coach. So it also helps to share knowledge, to just have a reminder on our goals, and we make a list, and then the next week we're like, okay, how we progress. So it's also helping. It depends what works for you. You also need to find what works for you and your personality. And the last thing I will add is that we need to remember that nobody is going to save us. So we have this power within us to do it, and we need to take action and remind ourselves every day of what is your vision, what are your goals. Okay, you know, you're gonna do it, but every day it needs a bit of action, and realize that, yeah, nobody's going to do it for you. You need to actively do it. So if you need this help, definitely hire a coach. If you feel you can do it on your own, do it as well. Make a plan. But yeah, do something, invest in something. And I also totally agree when you say that when people pay for something, they they are more serious about it, because when you pay, you give your energy, you open yourself up to receive the energy back from the coaching. So you definitely take it more seriously, and it's a bigger action for you. When you pay for something, you subconsciously you become more serious about it. You want to do it because you have paid for it.
Absolutely. And I'll add one more thing. If you're going to get an accountability buddy, you want to make sure that it's someone that's going to hold you to a higher standard. It's not somebody that is your best friend and you're going to hop on a call and you're going to complain about things together. Or it's not somebody who
Yes.
it's good to have somebody who are in the same position as you because they can understand you, right? But if you both want to grow a business from 0 to 5 or 10K months, or you both want to lose 50 pounds and neither of you have never done it before, you can't really coach each other there. Yes, you can like be on the journey together and you can motivate each other to get back on the wagon and to keep going and everything. But you have to remember that the people you surround yourself with is who you become. And so you want to surround yourself with people who are playing life at a higher level, who are doing the things that you want to do, who have achieved what you want to achieve, because that's what you're going to become. But if you continue to surround yourself with people who have no money and have no aspirations, or have some but are constantly maybe having excuses and letting life get in the way and not actually achieving what they want to achieve, that's what you're going to become as well. And so surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up.
So true, so true. And then our last point, number 4, it's look at your mindset. And is there anything in your mindset that may be blocking you? For example, do you live in the lack mindset? Or are you constantly focusing on the past and stuck in the past? Or are you always asking the opinion of others? And so you're stuck, because of course everyone's going to have a different opinion because you're not listening to yourself. So yeah, I will say look at your mindset. And this was something big for me to get out of the lack mindset, because I grew up with a lack mindset. So I definitely had to do some rewiring and always look for, you know, every time I spend my money, this money is not lost. What I look for at what I'm going to create with it, because there is an abundance of opportunity, of things to do, of clients, so you start seeing everything in abundance, that there is no lack, there is no restriction, or there is no limit. You can, as you said, like you can become anything that you want. So in the same way, when you want to start to get moving in the right direction, or start to or create something new for yourself, you also need to focus on what you're going to create, and not the lack in your life, and how how you're stuck, and there is nothing else you can do, and there is not enough of this, or not enough of that. But start to look at, you know, everything that is abundant in this planet, and how, when you spend, how you're creating things in return for yourself. And these things will help you to move forward and to create new things and better things in your
Absolutely. I
life.
think the easiest way to do it is just to change what you're focusing on. If you're focusing on the lack, if you're focusing on what you don't have, or what's going wrong, or how life is terrible, or something small maybe that's not working, maybe you're not in an awful place, but you're just focusing on life is average, or whatever it is, the thing that you're focusing on. If you shift that and you focus on, like you said, on your goals, on what you want, on the beauty in life, and like gratitude is the simplest way to do that. If you want to get unstuck, if you want to shift your feelings, the quickest way to do it is gratitude, and feel into that. Spend 5 minutes breathing into your heart and being grateful for what you have, because no matter what situation we're in life, we all have something to be grateful for. And the more that you're grateful for, the more that you're going to attract more amazing things to be grateful for. And then the other thing with mindset, I'll say, is it's the awareness as well. So there's millions of things we could say about mindset and go on this big journey. And as I said earlier, invest in yourself. Go and learn about mindset. Buy a book, buy a course, work with a coach, do something to improve your mindset. But it's the awareness of your mind and what's going on in your mind. the awareness of how you speak to yourself, the language you use, how you describe a situation, your patterns and behaviors, how you react to a situation, how you behave in a certain situation. And if you can bring more awareness to your life, it's going to be so much easier to change things. Like, for example, my partner, every day, he eats his porridge and he has his coffee. And then every single day from when we moved here at the beginning, for like a week or more, he was like running out the door at the last minute to go and catch the train. And after like 4 days, I said to him, why don't you just get up earlier? Like, you know, this happens every single day. Why don't you just get up earlier or have a shorter shower or like do something to change it, rather than every single day he'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm late for the train. And like, it's the smallest example, but he was like, oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. And then the next day he changed it and like has been on time most of the time since. And so if you can bring that level of awareness to your own life and just practice that regularly, like just ask yourself, what am I doing that could be holding me back? What am I focusing on right now? What has happened that has caused me to feel this way, and how can I prevent that from happening again in the future? Or maybe I can't prevent it from happening, but how can I prevent or change how I react to it and how I respond to it? And maybe the simplest way to do it is just to feel into gratitude.
Yes, and also some mindset shift that I had to do in my life to start changing things is that, first of all, I stopped saying to myself that how I'm not supported and no one is helping me, and I don't have any support, and I'm like alone in this world, and I have to do everything on my own. So I stopped saying this to myself, and I started saying, like, you know what, I'm always supported by the universe. And then somehow I started to see solutions and ways that I was actually supported. And this helped me to do this leap of faith and quit my corporate job, because I always had this fear that, oh my God, how I'm going to live if I don't have a stable salary. And another mindset shift is that I slowly removed the negativity in my life. So I started to put boundaries with my friends, and I started to tell them, hey, I don't want your negative opinion. If you can stop telling this to me. And then some friends took it badly, and I had to let go of these friends. But you know what? I decided that I don't want any source of negativity in my life, because I don't need it. And why do I have to accept this in my life? So if my friends cannot respect me enough to do this, well, then I don't need these people in my life. So, and then I also stopped focusing on my past, and how, I used to always tell myself how everything I cannot achieve is because of my parents. So I stopped saying this to myself, and I started saying, okay, it doesn't matter my parents in my childhood, all of this doesn't matter. I'm capable of creating whatever I want in my life from now on. So what I'm going to do to change things. So I stopped focusing on the past
Yeah, that's
as well.
so true. I think the biggest thing that for me made all of this possible is just believing that there was something more that I could have. Just believing that someday, somehow, I can achieve my dreams. And like learning that from a young age and just holding on to that, even in times when it was hard, even if it took longer than I expected, even if the path came about a different way or things changed, I always believed that I could have whatever I wanted. And so that's definitely that mindset shift that you need to have as well.
Yes, and never let anyone
Absolutely.
change your beliefs. So I think that's it for me. We covered a lot of points. I hope this live is going to help lots of people. Do you have anything else
No,
to
I
add,
think that was
Andrea?
amazing. I think if you went and applied everything that we've talked about here, then your life would drastically change. And that's the thing, is like maybe the final thing I'll say is just decide one thing right now that you're going to implement, that maybe something that we've said, maybe a light bulb moment that you've had, or something that you've taught yourself throughout this life. Just decide on one small thing that you're going to implement and go and implement that today.
Yes, and write to us in the comment section, what is this one small thing you're going to implement from today? Thank you so much, Andrea. It was such a
Thank you.
lovely
It was
conversation.
wonderful.
And how can people find you? or if they need to ask you more about
So
your
you can find
offers?
me, Andrea Alonso Coaching. I'm here, Andrea Alonso Coaching, and my DMs are always open. You can always ask me questions. You can always ask me about my journey, or share a question and what I would recommend. I have very valuable, open conversations. I don't believe in like selling, and I believe in selling, but I don't believe in, every conversation is a sales pitch, And so my passion, my mission in this life is to just help women to achieve their dreams, and to find happiness. And so if I can help you in any way, I absolutely will.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, and have a good
Yeah.
day. For me, it's the evening. A good day,
Thank
and we
you.
definitely stay in touch. And thank you so much
Thank
for
you
joining.
so much.
Thank
Have a lovely night.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.